Man, so much going on. I don't even know where to begin. But are they going to reopen Tyson?
We'd hoped that the Tyson plant in Dakota City, Nebraska would come back online this week, but that's not going to happen. Cargill's got a plant in Schuler, Nebraska also that they're suspending operations in for the next 2 weeks. So I think we're going to continue to have really a shortage of butchers, so to speak. There's not a shortage of animals out there, but having a place to get them to market and process meat has become a real sticking point. And as a result, we've seen the box beef and the cutouts just continue to run up. We're trying to, I guess it's an Econ 101, but trying to find a place that you can ration demand by 30 or 40%. And so you've got really farmers getting squeezed, ranchers getting squeezed on livestock prices on the cattle and hogs that they sell at the same time that you've got meat in the grocery stores just shooting through the roof. So it's a pretty interesting scenario right now from that perspective.
I saw the CEO of Tyson yesterday, and he was talking about the workers being the problem. As you said, there's not enough butchers, and so they can't get workers. Are they seeing that more on the grain side as well, and in the ag sector at all, or won't that hit this time of year? Does that usually? I'm thinking of produce itself, things, the normal kinds of produce down through Florida and South Carolina and
Sure.
Georgia, places where we're growing. Are they seeing personnel issues?
From what I've heard, that's been somewhat of a problem, and I think there's supply chain issues there as well. I'm not really involved with that part of this segment, but from what I've read and a few people I've talked to, the vegetable growers right now are having some real struggles with that as well, and I would assume that probably the fruit people will also. So I do think that's going to be a continuing challenge, and that's a challenge even in a good year, getting the right number of people, and it's just hard labor. So it's always tough to get them, and you throw this on top, and it's just another level of complexity.
Now I heard China purchased a fair amount of soybean this week.
Yeah, in fact, they just announced a sale here about an hour ago. They came in and bought another 378,000 metric tons of soybeans. So that was really encouraging. We also had a pretty decent corn sale to Mexico this morning of just a little over 109,000 metric tons. So we are seeing them step up, and it was good to see that with China. Yesterday it seemed like the tension had been ratcheted up a little bit between China and the U.S. again over the coronavirus, but it appears at this point as if China is going to try and honor that Phase 1 agreement. So it was certainly good news to see them step up and make that purchase today.
Yeah, I kind of expected that a little bit, only because it's the only thing they can do to get on the maybe the better side of the administration. And I think the last thing they want to do is go back on Phase 1. That wouldn't be a good idea at this point. Yeah,
no, there's enough pain going along right now without bringing that on themselves. I think you're absolutely right.
So, what's your outlook for sales? I mean, are farmers going to be obviously? I mean, are they going to be a lot worse this year than?
From just a pure price standpoint on grain, I think we're going to really struggle. You look at kind of the projected carryout of corn a year from now, and you see a lot of numbers like a 3.4, 3.5 billion bushel carryout. A year or so ago, we had about a 1.7. So it's a pretty dramatic increase in stocks, which would obviously tend to be associated with some lower prices. I think we'll probably see December corn maybe trade as low as $2.75 a bushel unless we run into a real weather scare. Today we're at $3.32. So I do think there's some substantial downside to this market still, and I do think we're probably mired in a fairly low price environment. For people that have storage, on-farm storage, though, you're going to see real good carries in the market. And so if you utilize your storage properly, there's going to be some opportunity. I think the market's going to have to reward us for hanging on to the grain. We've got that kind of a surplus. It's going to pay the people who can store it.
So is COVID impacting demand? I mean, we're still eating, right?
I really haven't seen any impact in demand. Yeah, it seems like it's more of a supply chain issue that disruptors, particularly we've seen it obviously with livestock processors. From a grain perspective, we're really not seeing the impact other than what it's done to ethanol, and of course that's hit the corn market real hard. But in terms of actually processing it for food and those types of things, have not really seen a big COVID impact.
Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.TV. That's FISM.TV.